So for problem number 32 of section 1.1.1, we have a lot of information here that we kind of have to somehow sort through to find the average rate of change of f. Well, we're given this thing here, so we have suppose that f of a squared minus f of b squared over a squared minus b squared is equal to 100. We know that the average or mean of f of a and f of b is 625. And we also know that the average or mean of a and b is 25. So a lot of information there, but none of it really directly tells us what f of a, what f of b is, what a and b are themselves. So what we're going to start doing is working with this piece here. Now if we look at each of the numerators and the denominators, the first thing that comes to my mind is to factor them. So let's give that a shot. So we could say that f of a squared minus f of b squared over a squared minus b squared. Well, this looks like this numerator here can be factored as a minus b, a times a plus b. Now, numerator looks a little bit more complicated, but we can really do it in exactly the same way. So we can write f of a minus f of b, and then multiply that by f of a plus f of b. Okay, so now we see that we have something that's a little bit more familiar. Because if we look at just the left part here of this equation, we see that that's almost the average rate of change. In fact, it would be the average rate of change if we had f of b minus f of a and b minus a. But if we switch around the top two here and just write f of b minus f of a like we want to do, well, that's really just like adding a minus sign there. And similarly, if we do that on the bottom, this is b minus a, we end up with another minus sign, and it cancels out. So, and that leaves us with, over here, f of a plus f of b all over a plus b. But let's go back to the rest of the information that we have in the problem. So we know that the average of f and b is equal to 625. Well, what does that exactly mean? That means that f of a plus f of b over 2 is equal to 625. But we can just multiply by 2 on both sides here. So get rid of that, multiply this by 2. And we just see that f of a plus f of b is equal to 1250. So now we can just stick in 1250 in this part of the problem. But before we go ahead and do that, let's notice that we can also do a similar thing with the average of a and b. So have the a plus b over 2 is equal to 25. But again, we just multiply both sides by 2. So now we have a plus b is equal to 50. Now let's go ahead and simplify this big mess right here. So we have the average rate of change. So rather than write f of b minus f of a over b minus a, I'm just going to write average rate of change, meaning the average rate of change of f on the interval b minus a. And this is going to be multiplied by 1250. over a plus b, which is 50. Now, remember that this whole thing here, this whole quantity that we were originally given, we know that that's equal to 100. And along each step, we haven't actually changed anything. We've just written it in a different form. So we can say that this last equation that we wrote is actually equal to 100. So now all of this means that we can just solve right for the average rate of change. That's going to be equal to 100 times 50 over 1250, which is going to, again, reduce to, let's see, 50 over 12.5. Which then is equal to 12.5. It goes into 50 4 times, which is the average rate of change of the function. So you can see how just starting out with this information which looked similar to the average rate of change but not quite, we're able to recognize that, oh, this looks like something that can be factored, factor it out, use whatever information we have available, and just kind of play around with it until we can get it into the form of something that can be solved for the average rate of change, which is what we were looking for.